My name's Danny, one of the power tool trainers here at Bosch Professional Power Tools, and today I'd like to discuss an introduction to the requirements for safe operation of our range of GCM or compound mitre saws. The mitre saw is one of the most useful in our entire range of power tools, a versatile cutting machine used where tight corners, precise angles and fine finishing work is required. From outward appearances, the typical mitre saw may look relatively straightforward, but looks can be deceiving with a powerful motor and spinning blade that can cut through the toughest timber, aluminium or other non-ferrous materials. However, improper use of mitre saws can cause serious injury. Fortunately, mitre saw accidents can be avoided if you're careful and are aware of the risks. Make sure to carefully read, understand and follow the important information and advice contained in the instruction manual, observing the warning labels on the equipment and using good common sense. It also doesn't hurt to refer to the manual from time to time, just to brush up on your product and safety knowledge. Mitre saws are intended primarily to cut wood or wood-like products. They must not be used with abrasive cut-off wheels for cutting ferrous materials. Cutting ferrous materials on a mitre saw results in excessive sparking. This will damage the machine and may overload the motor. If cutting materials like aluminium or other non-ferrous metals, use only the blade specifically recommended for non-ferrous metal cutting. Regarding the correct requirements for the operation of our mitre saw range, we recommend the use of safety glasses, ear protection, dust extraction and a face mask. We wouldn't recommend the use of gloves as this can get caught in the blade and in any case would offer very little protection. When considering a dust extractor, it is important to note we would only recommend an M-class or an H-class extractor, as many hardwoods can contain carcinogens. Keeping them out of the breathable environment is critical. Now on to correct safe operation of the machine. Firstly, make sure your protective guard and brake system is not damaged and is working correctly. The guard system on the mitre saw was put there for a reason. It's there to keep your hands away from the spinning blade. There's no reason to ever tamper with the guard system. It's plainly an invitation for disaster. Next, get rid of debris. Clear away all tools, wood scraps and other items both in front and behind the fence. The only thing that should be on the mitre saw table is the workpiece. Remember, the tip of the blade is spinning at close to 140 miles per hour and can make dangerous projectiles out of any loose objects. Remember, always keep your hands away from the sides of the blade. If you apply uneven or excessive force to the material being held, you may slip into the blade. Do not hold only the workpiece. Support part of your work holding hand on the fence or table. This will prevent your hand from moving if the material should move during the cut. Never cross your hand over the intended line of the cut, such as holding the right side of the material with your left hand. This is very dangerous and can result in serious injury. Make a dry run without the blade spinning. Adjust the workpiece and clamp or secure the workpiece in place prior to cutting. Be sure to let the blade reach operating speed before contacting the workpiece. If a workpiece is too short to use your hand a safe distance from the blade and you're unable to clamp it securely, do not proceed with the cut. Use an alternative tool for this. When cutting a round rod or dowel, the piece must be clamped securely, not held, as the spinning blade can draw the material and your hand into the blade. After completing the cut, release the trigger and wait for the blade to stop before returning the saw to the rest position. Next, include the accessories and how to use them. Some of our range of mitre saws come with a dust bag included. However, we strongly recommend using a dust extractor. These can be attached here via friction fit or click and clean on applicable models. All our mitre saws come with at least one material clamp. Additional or specialist clamps can be purchased separately. Now let's look at correct setup and height of the machine. Make sure to secure the saw on a level, firm work surface before use. Ideally using a dedicated mitre saw stand. This reduces the risk of the mitre saw becoming unstable and tipping and offers additional material supports on some models for handling longer material. Remember, it's important for you to feel comfortable and able to freely move whilst operating the machine. The height of the machine is very important to this. Handling long material. Make sure you have adequate support accessories such as clamps and table extensions to accommodate work pieces longer than the tabletop. Pieces longer than the mitre saw table can tip if not securely supported. If the cut-off workpiece or workpiece tips, it can lift the lower safety guard or be thrown by the blade. Do not use another person as a substitute for a table extension or material support, as unstable support for the workpiece can cause the blade to bind or the workpiece to shift during the cutting operation, again pulling you towards the spinning blade. Thank you for joining me on this introduction to the safe operation of our Mitre Saw range. Remember, if there's any parts discussed here which you don't feel you fully understand, I would advise re-watching this video and reacquainting yourself with the user manual. I've been Danny Parks, thanks for watching.